So what's up, people, and welcome to the Chapter 11 discussion of 僕らの血盟 or Our Blood Oath. Yeah, so Chapter 11 came out a few days back, and as always, I will leave a link to the US official website for the publisher, Manga Plus, where they are showing the chapter for free for a few weeks, at least to the North American audience. So if you're interested and if you're in the region, then yeah, go take a look at it. But anyway, Chapter 11, this is the battle chapter, and this is in continuation from Chapter 10, where that guy from the enemy vampire faction named Haiga, he basically walked right up to Shin and Ko and challenged them to a battle. And so this chapter is all about the battle, or at least the beginning of the battle. So as you can imagine, there's much more action, not much story in this section, but there are a few things that you do take away from this chapter. First of all, there's a continuous reconfirmation that Haiga still has some sort of respect to the royal family, considering how much he is treating Ko, right? There's some sort of reverence that he has to Ko, and he continues to call him Your Majesty, and there is a certain amount of respect that he focuses on Ko, which seems to indicate that whatever it is, considering that Haiga is from the enemy vampire faction, there is a certain amount of tradition and respect to the royal family, at least from him. Now, this is in contrast to how he treats Shin, where he basically has no respect or very little respect for Shin because, of course, he is a human. So despite the fact that he is a blood oath brother to Ko, since he is a human, he is not worthy of receiving any respect. He is basically like an animal or food, right, to the vampires. And so you could start seeing this character of Haiga. Because he is a vampire, he does have that traditional respect to Ko. But similarly, because he is a vampire, any humans are beneath him. And you can see that contrast in this actual battle itself. The other thing is that it seems that the vampires in this comic series anyway have the ability to weaponize their blood. So they could use their blood to create events or weapons during a fight. And we saw that to some extent with Ko whenever he brought out that kind of death scythe that he would use, right, in battle, whenever he was able to transform into that vampire form, that really strong vampire form. But here we find out that it's not just Ko. He's not just the only person that, or only vampire that can use blood as a weapon. Haiga can do that as well, which indicates that the vampires in this comic series, once again, is very similar to the ghouls, right, in Tokyo Ghoul, in that they could use blood as a weapon. It's also very similar to the way the characters in the manga Dead Man's Wonderland use their blood as weapons as well. So it'll be interesting to see just how far these vampires can use blood. And since Haiga and Ko have a very different way of using their blood, I guess each one of these vampires may end up having a different way in which they weaponize their blood. So it'll be interesting to see how creative the author can become in the characters and how they utilize their blood as weapons. And I would presume that as Ko becomes stronger and older, his weapons will become more elaborate. At least I will hope so. The other thing that we find is, as strong as Ko is, his experience in fighting is still lacking. So in this case, although he has a strong ability against Haiga, he just doesn't know how to use his abilities well enough yet to be able to fight him. And finally, we find out that if you remember in the previous chapters, Alice had upgraded Shin's gloves, right, his weapon, which I guess he uses as gauntlets. But what we find out in this chapter is those gloves are powered by blood. I guess those weapons that Alice makes are powered by human blood. And so when Ko powers up his gloves using his blood, and since his blood has a small hint of that royal vampire blood, he can power up those gauntlets pretty well, as we find out in this chapter. So yeah, this is a chapter about a lot of action, very little dialogue or story. But we do learn a little bit more about how the vampires work, how their powers are, and basically how Shin can somewhat fight against them. But again, we are confirmed in this chapter that because he is a human, as strong as he is as a human, he doesn't come to the levels of strength that a vampire has, at least higher level vampires like Haiga. So it'll be interesting to see not only how Ko evolves as he gets stronger, but how Shin evolves during this entire Blood Oath adventure. Anyway, that's about it for chapter 11. I'll continue to bring out more videos as the new chapters come out. Thank you very much for watching this video. And yeah, if you have any comments with regards to how things are being revealed with these chapters, yeah, please leave a comment in the comment section, and I thank you in advance for that. Anyway, until the next chapter, happy manga reading, and as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.